Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to another deadline stream. It is game week 13. It is a Friday evening deadline. Thank you all very much for joining. We have a Friday night deadline. We'll be going through everything you need to know going into the deadline. We'll be answering your questions. We'll be having a look at my team. We might be making some transfers. I haven't made mine yet. We've got injury updates. We've got lots to do, and FPL is coming at us thick and fast. Not only do we have a deadline today, we have another one on Tuesday and we have another one next Saturday as well. But before we do all of that, thank you all very much for joining. Those of you in early, I appreciate you all very much. Please drop a like on the stream if you haven't. If you are new to the stream and new to the channel and you are seeing it on your For You page or whatever, please do drop a subscribe on the channel. We are going to get to 150,000 subscribers as soon as possible. How are we? How are we, everyone? Before we get into the questions, let's say hello to a few of you in the chat. Say hello, say what you are doing this Friday evening. Happy Friday. And to anyone who has been celebrating recently, happy Thanksgiving as well. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to FPL Alexander Arnold, Rory, we've got Sam Jeffries, we've got Immortal, we've got Fiona, we have got Will Blake and Garris. Thank you to all the members and moderators in supporting the channel. I appreciate you as well. If you've joined at the beginning of this stream, there's a couple of new members. If you've joined mid-tier or higher, drop me a message on Instagram or Twitter and I will get you added to all of the usual stuff that you need to be added to. Let's say hello to a few of you though. Oliver, Tony, Salman, ABC, Hisham, Thomas, Walid, Mohammed, Ali, Ben, Philip, The Dreams Chaser, William, Gillian, Kate, Charles, Usama, Nova, Nazim, Zakakis, Chris, Rap Tunisia, Mr. Was Up, JC Snooks, Mr. Glitchers, Callum, how are we doing? Lindegard, Say, Reese, Linford, Draz, Gavin, History with Matt, Marius, ZB, Merck, and everyone else. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you all very much for joining. There are already 1,300 of you in and watching, so there must be something going on if it is a busy start to the stream. All the best from South Africa. Thank you very much. If anyone saw me in the FPL show today, thank you very much for watching. It is always an absolute pleasure to be invited on those shows. It will be live on the UK on Sky and BT Sport later this evening. It might even be early. It might even be 5 o'clock, but we're going to stick here. We are going to stick here. I'd also love to know, do you like a Friday deadline? Do you like a Friday deadline? I personally don't. Like, I quite like not having to get up on a Saturday morning. But the fact that there's no early kickoff on Saturday means that golf on a Saturday morning until 3 o'clock is a little bit dull. So yeah, I personally don't. I like Friday night football, but I don't like a Friday night deadline from an FPL perspective. It also just throws off my content schedule a little bit. Like it means my final decisions video is recorded on a Thursday evening, so we don't get the press conferences on a Friday before we record it. So yeah. And then can you imagine what it does to my schedule when we have a Tuesday deadline? Not only do I have to record Sunday evening, I record Sunday evening probably twice. Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 8 videos to make in 6 days next week. So let's talk a little bit about my team before we get in and answer a few of your questions. We did just have a super chat. Bench Wood, Fernandes or Cunha. You have a headache. If I actually had to bench one of those, I'd probably bench Bruno Fernandes, just because based off what we saw from the press conference yesterday, there is a bit of a risk that we do see Bruno Fernandes playing in that central midfield role. And Everton have only conceded more than 1 goal in the opening 4 games. And since then, they haven't actually conceded more than that. So I might end up, like, they haven't, like, if you look here, like, they conceded 3 there, 4 there, 3 there, 3 there. And then since then, it's been 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. So I probably would bench Fernandes out of those ones. Would I bench Isak? Oh, yeah, of course. Yes, we will be. We will. And apologies if it offends anyone, but I will be starting Semenyo this week for someone who plays early. So that will probably be Chris Wood. Apologies if anyone doesn't like it, but it is a right. When you have a suspended player, you have to start them. You have to start them. Bench Fernandes or Rodgers? Rodgers, definitely. Definitely. Konate, before we get to my team, let's talk a little bit about Konate. So it sounds like that Konate is going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks. It's not been officially confirmed by the club, but all the sort of Liverpool press conference or all the Liverpool sort of Twitter reporters are saying that it's going to be 5 to 6 weeks. We expect it will be Joe Gomez that fills in because that's what happened last time Konate went off when he hurt his shoulder a few weeks ago. This takes us I think it's about 7 game weeks that he might miss. It's probably not enough in my mind to go and buy Joe Gomez, so it's a bit annoying actually in my mind. So the journalists, Harry, that's the one, the Twitter people, the journalists. It's a bit annoying in my mind because it doesn't really open enough for me to go and buy Gomez. And I'm also not sure Gomez is fully nailed. Like, Kwanzaa might get a game. And by the time my mic is really quiet. Is it? It's the same as it is every week. Sorry, where was I? So, the annoying thing is, for Konate is, like, I now don't have a route to Konate. I now don't have a route to. I don't really want to go Gomez. I now don't also really want to go. So it basically leaves Van Dijk and Trent, and that's quite a lot of money. And I don't necessarily know exactly how I'm going to free it up to be able to go there. So we might get there. We might not in the end. Which is part of the reason I actually think I might roll my transfer this week, because I'm very torn on what to do with my transfer this week. Part of me just wants to sit and hope that Brighton concede tonight, and then I just play one of my other defenders and it is what it is. Because he doesn't really get in my lineup. Well, the thing is, if there's no Konate, he might get in my lineup. So part of the reason I don't particularly want him is the weeks that they have a good fixture is 16, 17, 18. Like in game week 16, Brighton have Palace at home. But my other defenders in 8 Nori has Ipswich at home. Arsenal have Everton at home. And if I buy a Liverpool defender, has Fulham at home. So I don't need Van Heck. In game week 17, he might be a little bit useful away at West Ham. But I'd still probably back West Ham to score at home. Arsenal have Palace away. Wolves have Leicester away. And then you might play him over a Liverpool defender if that is the case. But Ipswich also have Newcastle at home. So is he that useful that week? And then game week 18 is the other one where he might be useful at home to Brentford. But Arsenal have got Ipswich at home. Wolves have got Man United, but Liverpool have got Leicester. Like, I don't know about the Van Heck transfer. At the moment, I'd say I probably just roll the transfer this week and just review things. Let's see who starts for Liverpool and stuff like that. Would I do Bruno Fernandes to Saka? If you've got nothing else to do and it's for free, I think Saka is better and you'll want to do it next week anyway. So I probably would if you've got nothing else to do. Would I do Bruno to Saka for a -4 though? As Aaron has asked, no, I don't think I would do it for a -4. I would give Fernandes one game. Would I do Stewart up to João Pedro for a -4 to bench Johnson, who already doesn't start, and want that 4-3-3? Own Solanke, Raul, Salah, Palmer. I mean, I would do Stewart to João Pedro and benching Jimenez. I play Brennan Johnson over Jimenez, definitely, personally. Brought in Konate last week, replacement 1.1 in the bank. 8 Nori, Timber, Van Heck. I have paint on my hands. I was doing some painting, and I now have paint on my hand. It's a good story, I know. We also have a very, very exciting segment of the stream coming back, which we will bring back at some point. I have my lovely cup of tea. Is Gabriel playing? We expect Gabriel to play. We don't know. Van Heck won't be nailed. Van Heck is the most nailed Brighton defender that there is. Van Heck is the most nailed Brighton defender. Why Chris Wood on the... I'm going to get this all stream. I'm going to just put it the other way around and then I'll change it later on because it's just a bit of fun. You get auto sub points later on, but I'm just going to move it back just because I don't want to answer the question however many times in the next 2 hours. Sell Son for Saka for a -4, free next week. I'd probably do it free next week. Can I give you confidence? So, captaincy is a massive, massive talking point. Put a sticky note on screen explaining yourself. Yeah, that's true. I could write it in the notes. So, captaincy, yeah. Like, I don't want to put anyone off a captain this week because this is a week to do what you want with your captaincy. I don't expect... I do expect there to be some players who do really well, but it's very hard to predict exactly who they're gonna be. I'm almost certain that it's going to be on Mo Salah for me. Just because I just think City are not good and I think Liverpool are really good. Like, I just think it's as simple as that for me. I don't mind Palmer. I don't mind Saka, but there's something in me... Like, Kelly on the show today asked me, well, why are you not captaining Saka? He scored 14 points against them last year. And I said, I don't really have a reason not to captain Saka. Just that I don't feel in my gut that I trust him as much as I trust the others. So that's why it's on Salah. I don't love the Bournemouth fixture for Cunha, but he is on great form. I don't mind João Pedro if you've got him, and Burmo I like, Palmer I like. Let me know in the chat who... I could do a poll, but let me know in the chat who you plan on captaining. Maybe a poll is precisely why they put the polls in. Yes, right. Captaincy. Salah, Palmer. Ooh. Who else? Saka. Other. I also forgot to plug it virtually at all. If you're not in the league for this channel, at the end of the season, if you beat me in that league, I donate 10p to charity. Now you probably think, well, that's not enough. But I'm currently about, like, for every single person in that league who beats me, I don't do big giveaways, although we will have some giveaways over the December period. I do it every year, but we will do that. So every single person who beats me in the league I will donate 10p to charity. So let me just pin that to the top, although it's just disappeared. Can you see that? Why does it just delete it? Does it delete it for all of you, or can you see the link? Maybe I've got links banned in my stream. Oh no, it does work in the actual chat. What is going on? There you go. Once you pin it, you can see it. So make sure you join the league if you want to raise a little bit of money for charity if you do beat me. There is also a minimum donations. For those of you in the chat who comment, well, so if you do well, you don't want to raise money for charity. There is a minimum donation, so don't worry about that. Is Konate a sell? I mean, if you don't need him this week and you want to wait for official confirmation on exactly how long he's going to be out for, it's not the end of the world, but he probably is a sell if you need a defender this week. Why would I not captain João Pedro? I think João Pedro is a very, very reasonable captain. I don't have him in my team. He's my favourite of the non-premiums. He's my favourite of the non-premiums. Would I do Isak to João Pedro this week? No, because although I've said to people, I've said on my videos that I'm not certain I'm going to keep Isak, but I'm also not certain that I am going to sell him. Like, we might get to next week and he does well against Palace and I decide to hold on to him. But if he does badly, then I might sell him. So, I don't want to make that decision after just one game. Would captain at home to Ipswich should be fairly easy. I mean, Ipswich have been pretty good. Is wildcard worth it this week? It depends what your team is like, but if you need changes, I don't hate the wildcard. There is a wildcard draft in my final decisions video from today. If you want to go and tinker for your wildcard for the next couple of hours, it's not going to be something we really cover on this stream because very few people are playing their wildcard. But if you want a draft, there is one in my video from this morning. Salah is top of the captaincy. I mean, I honestly feel like captain whoever you want. Like, I will have opinions on it, but captain whoever you want this week. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy Konate for the Southampton game. And I rolled my transfer instead. But yes, if you bought him last week, you should probably look to sell him. Would I roll and play Gvardiol this week? Yeah, if you've got Gvardiol, I probably would roll and play him. Thoughts on Visa captaincy? Like, it's not a bad shout. I do expect there to be chances for him against Leicester. Thoughts on captaining Son? You have Haaland, Salah and Burma. Like, I can't put you off Son. He's in the conversation. He's probably not top for me, but I don't dislike it at all. Gabriel or Timber? I definitely would buy Gabriel first. I don't mind Timber as a double up, but like, Gabriel is still top for me. And Luke. 3 free transfers. Thoughts on Pickford to Verbruggen, Raya. Lewis to Saliba, Virgil, Konate. Well, not Konate. Solanke to Pedro and Buonanotte. Is that a -4? To be honest, what I would do is I would just not do the Buonanotte move and go Bowen next week. Because that's 4 transfers. But I'd probably go Verbruggen, Saliba or Van Dijk. Depending if you need them short term. And then, Solanke to Pedro, I don't mind. And Buonanotte to Bowen next week. It's not worth a hit. Is Wood a good shout? Yeah. Home to Ipswich. A lot of these players have good records and they have good fixtures. So it's pretty difficult for me to rule out these players as captaincy options this week. Watkins to Pedro. Yeah, I probably would do Watkins to Pedro. I'm not certain that Watkins starts both of the next 2. Aston Villa have one of the worst turnarounds over the next few days. They play Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. And I'm almost certain that John Duran starts at home to Southampton or at home to Brentford. Now, it might be Watkins that drops out. It might be Rodgers that drops out. It might be someone else. But there is a decent chance it's Watkins or Rodgers. Rodgers or João Pedro. I mean, you're definitely playing João Pedro this week. You're definitely playing João Pedro this week. I don't even think João Pedro is in my... Yeah, he doesn't even make my benching decision at the moment. Oh, we've got Konate in the benching decisions. We can remove you. I did those this afternoon before that came in. Triple captain Salah sounds silly, but City are play. I mean, I wouldn't do that. No. You have 8 strong attackers and Burmo, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Bruno, Woods. I mean, I'd bench Bruno. If he's going to play in midfield, he's the weakest of that list. He might not play midfield, but I still think I'd bench Bruno. Bruno and Burmo to Saka for a hit. I'm not sure I'd do either of them to a hit, Gleb. I'd probably, if I had to sell one, I'd rather sell Fernandes this week. But you have 3 flag defenders, Gabriel, Konate, Anderson. Can do Konate to Timber Van Heck for free, but I think I have to do a transfer. Yeah, I mean, Konate is the one I'd probably sell. just because he's the most expensive and just take the money out of it. If you want to go Timber, then I don't mind that to double up. Confident Wood plays. We have no reason to think Wood won't start. Like, yeah. Yeah. No reason to think he doesn't. If I had Trent, would I keep him? Yeah, I mean, I probably would now. Now that Konate's out, the only real nailed Liverpool defenders are Trent and Van Dijk. Like, how do I get to Trent? It involves selling and Burmo, doesn't it? I mean, Trent wouldn't come in for me next week, but it would, right? So Trent and Burmo, not Cunha. It would be Wood. And let's say I do the Isak to... I am really tempted to sell Isak to Jackson if Jackson doesn't get booked this week. 6.8. I mean, it leaves me enough for a midfielder. $6.8, like, who would you buy? I mean, Brennan Johnson, if we knew he was nailed, would be the one, but sadly we don't. His points, however, 5 goals, 2 assists is pretty good. I can't get to Bowen. Like, who's more important, Trent or Bowen? Like, if I did Van Dijk in here, I'd only have like 0.5 more, so I'd have 7.3. I still couldn't get to Bowen. So I want to sort by price. There we go. So 7.3, like I could go Jota, but I'm just not doing that again, am I? Mitoma would be the obvious one. This is the issue. Like, I just don't see midfielders in these brackets that I really like. Kudus. This is interesting. This is not actually the most ridiculous suggestion you'll hear. If everyone's looking at Bowen, why are you not looking at Kudus? One more. This is his last game of suspension. Could be the one. And he's just much cheaper. But if anyone has midfielders like Kulu, someone in the chat said Kulu, I would hold Brennan Johnson. Yes, I would hold Brennan Johnson. Yeah. Josh, hope you're well. If you had Konate instead of Lewis like me, would I be doing? I mean, I probably would sell Konate because it sounds like he's out for a while. Kulu, I don't mind. He's been pretty good. And this run's not bad. But I just struggle with this midfield spot. Maybe if someone puts their hand up over the weekend, then I go there. But to be honest, it would be those 3 moves next week. The attackers, and then I'd do Lewis to Trent for the Everton away game, probably. Ahmad, is those United players, are any of them going to be nailed? This is it. There's just no one. Like, who is there in this price bracket? I could just go Rodgers, but I mean, Rodgers is the obvious one, isn't he? But if I'm saying I'm not even certain he plays the next couple of games, I mean, he probably is the obvious one long term. Ahmad, Mitoma, yeah, like, but all of these are roots, and I get Trent. For all of these players that you're suggesting, I get Trent. Smith Rowe, yeah, all of these players give me enough money for him, so we'll come back to that. But that is why I'm not certain on doing. What's his name? That's why I'm not certain on buying Van Heck. Because I feel like I might need the transfer for something else next week. And I'm not that... I'm basically just got to pray that Southampton score tonight. Which doesn't feel that likely. They were not bad against Liverpool, but... So that's where I'm at. Current prediction is I'll roll my transfer and captain Salah. And just accept that it might not be my best ever week, but... play Gvardiol or Robinson... Probably Gvardiol for his attacking threat. probably slightly better. Havertz to Pedro worth a -4. Bruno to Saka or Garnacho to Mitoma. I do Garnacho to Mitoma probably. But I'm not sure either of those are worth a hit. If you're going to do one next week and one the week after, then yeah, do a hit. Havertz to Pedro and probably Garnacho to Mitoma to take advantage of that fixture. Roll and start Rodgers or do Rodgers to Mitoma. I mean, I wouldn't sell Rodgers for the sake of it for 1 week because I still think he's a good pick long term. Konate, 8 Nori, Gabriel, Mikalenko, Greaves. Who would I transfer Konate for? Konate, 8 Nori, Gabriel, Mikalenko, Greaves. Either Van Heck or Timber, probably in your case. I'm not that sold on Porro, but you could go to Porro as well. Porro, Timber, Van Heck are probably the top 3 if you already own Gabriel. Gabriel, Porro, Timber, Van Heck are probably the top replacements for Konate. Speedy, Wood to Pedro, Foden to Saka for a hit. If you need to do the Wood to Pedro move to free up Foden to Saka, then yes, absolutely. Why Salah the best captain? It's just the player I trust the most. Don't know Porro. I mean, I don't love Porro as an asset, and they'll concede too many goals, so I'm not going to buy Porro, but yeah. Do I think Pedro Neto will start this weekend? Probably, but I wouldn't advise buying Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto of Chelsea. I wouldn't buy any Chelsea players that aren't Jackson and Palmer, and maybe a defender. Konate injured. Pep might go for a draw, so Palmer best captain. Thoughts? I'm not sure why Konate injured makes Pep more likely to go for a draw. I would expect it means Pep is more like... I think Pep needs to beat... I don't think a draw is enough for Man City. I don't think a draw is enough. I mean, he probably would take a draw, but is a draw enough for Man City this week? Like what? 9 points behind? Or 8 points behind? With the run that Liverpool have got? I'm not sure. Sell Konate for a hit, only have Mikalenko and Greaves on the bench. I mean, probably because you're going to need to sell him anyway. Doing the Haaland to Palmer switch, who should I sell from Rodgers or Semenyo? I'd probably sell Rodgers if you don't need him this week. I think Semenyo is better from next week. If Evan Nielsen could start finishing the chances that Semenyo is creating for him, we definitely would be picking Semenyo. Bloody Evan Nielsen. Last week, Semenyo hit the bar and Evan Nielsen missed a big chance that he created. But anyway, I'm not bitter or anything like that. I'm not bitter, but yeah, I'm a little bit bitter. And to be actually fair, him being suspended this week is absolutely perfect. Like, look at this. I don't need him this week at all. Best Konate replacement. Gabriel. Maybe I'll just do that in the hot topic. Best Konate replacements. Gabriel in order. Gabriel first. Then probably 8 Nori. Then it's... I mean, I'm boring, so I'd go Saliba over Timber. Porro. Van Heck. Probably. Does that work? Konate replacements ranked. Gabriel, A. Nori, Saliba, Timber, Porro, Van Heck. If you have more risk appetite, you go Timber. But I don't like risk. Dunk, we're not guaranteed that Dunk gets back in. It might well be Igor. So I would not be buying Dunk. What have you got for your dinner? I'm probably going to have a frozen pizza I bought on deal the other day in the supermarket and not realising that I was ever going to eat it. And now suddenly I need a dinner for tonight. Holly is out this evening. So that is that. I me, myself, I baked this week. I baked banana bread yesterday. It is a really, really... Hang on. I have a button for this. Wow. Oh, it's slipping and sliding. Yeah, I'm going to cook the pizza. Wow. Look. I baked this myself. It's really... The key is... It is nice and moist. The key is to put in more bananas than they tell you to. Ooh. How dare you. How dare you. I'm here sharing my lovely baking with you. Would you like a baking stream? That's what we'll do when the season ends, or on an international break. FPL Bake Off. Yeah, there we go. I don't butter my banana bread. Should I butter my banana bread? Like, it is bread. Well, it's not really bread, it's cake. But do you butter your banana bread? I'm just going to have a little bit. No, don't butter it. I don't. No. Okay, well, I don't. But some people in the chat said they do. It's a good one. It's a really good one. If you haven't liked the stream and you're enjoying the content that you're seeing, 3,500 of you watching me, honestly, it's surreal. 3,500 of you in watching me show you my cake. You might not be here to watch me show you my cake, and that also sounds a bit weird. My banana cake, my banana bread. Yeah, that sounded a bit weird. But I appreciate you being here anyway. If you haven't liked the stream, please do. And subscribe if you're new around here already. Oh, dear. I don't know what you're saying. Dear. Tommy, -4 of Haaland, Semenyo to Saka and João Pedro. Sell Konate next week. I mean, if you've got a defender, then yes. Cake stream. I'll bake for you. You can tell it's a Friday night stream. Should you transfer my banana bread in for Haaland? My banana bread would make you happier than Haaland does, so... Yeah. You have Visa, but might transfer to Isak Thoughts. I definitely keep Visa this week and see how Isak gets on this week. You might well not want Isak after their performance if they play like they did again. Why is Saka Captaincy so low? Worried low block against West Ham away. No, I just think people don't trust Saka that much. I just think that's all it is. I honestly think that's all it is. My plan, say Darren. So just to reiterate, it's getting a bit warm in here. My radiator's off. Maybe it's just the excitement of the banana bread. My plan at the moment is probably to roll my transfer and just take a chance on either Mikalenko or Greaves. And I don't know who it is that I'm going to play. One of the two. One of the two. I mean, I could go Van Heck, but part of me just thinks I'm better off taking a third transfer into next week. Hi from Pennsylvania. Hello, hello. Why am I'm benching Lewis. If I could put a spot between Lewis and getting on my pitch, which was guaranteed 0, I would put Lewis below a guaranteed 0 this week if I had the choice. So Rico Lewis. I mean, he might actually start for me next week at home to Forest. I actually hope Lewis doesn't play. I hope he doesn't play and then he plays at home to Forest or away at Palace. Yeah. Would I play Greaves versus Forest or Robinson versus Spurs? Probably Robinson. He has the attacking threat. Roll. What would you do if you were in my situation? Would you roll or would you buy Van Heck? I know Van Heck makes my team better this week, but I'm just not sure it's best for me long term. I would say I'm about 75% certain that I buy João Pedro tonight. Now, I know I'm missing the Southampton game, and I know he went up last night, but I know I want him long term, and we also are... Let's have a look at some of the original price changes for tonight. Mazraoui, Aït-Nouri, Van Dijk, Onana, Mitoma, and Young are all predicted to. Cunha, Saka, João Pedro, Porro, Salah, Aina, Odegaard, and Timber predicted to. And I believe... Oh, maybe Chris Wood isn't predicted on this website. Chris Wood's not predicted here, but I'm not sure I want to take the chance because he's predicted to fall. I think FPL Statistics has him to fall. So I might do that move tonight of Chris Wood to João Pedro if João Pedro looks good again. Or to be honest, I'll do it if João Pedro, as long as João Pedro doesn't get injured. Whether he blanks or scores a hat-trick, I'll probably still do it. Jackson captain a good differential. I mean, it's probably not the one I'd pick, but again, it's not the worst this week with the fixtures that we've got for some of those players. So, is it worth a -4 to get João Pedro, Cunha, or Saka? I mean, I don't know who you're selling, but I imagine one of those is, yeah. Would I transfer out Gvardiol to free funds to bring in João and Jackson next week? I don't have any other cover if Gabriel doesn't play. If it benefits your team this week as well, Lion, then yes. But if it doesn't benefit your team this week, then no, I just wait. Roll. Some of you in the chat saying roll. Some of you saying buy Van Heck, buy Van Heck. Roll, 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 roll. Roll. If you're not in the league for the channel, here you go. Roll, 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 buy, roll. When you say a word lots of times, it someone said 769172 Van Heck. Got it. Got it, got it. Bench 1, Porro, Aït-Nouri, Aina, Gabriel. To be honest, probably Aina, but Wolves have got lots of players back, which may well put Aït-Nouri further up the pitch in an attacking position again. So I wouldn't be benching him. So I think it might have to be Aina. Mods. Don't worry. Got it. Who to bench between Wood, Cunha, Visa and Ahmad? Definitely Ahmad. Honestly, Van Heck is a good option though. Who to bench between we did. Can I go over why Salah over Palmer again? Jan Palmer will not play his position as Gusto will invert. Is this your considerations? Well, like Gusto only inverts if they play Lavia in midfield. If Lavia doesn't play in midfield and it's Enzo in midfield again, then it doesn't necessarily mean that Gusto is going to invert and push Palmer further up the pitch. It's likely to benefit him if he's back, but it doesn't mean it if Enzo plays. If Enzo and Felix play again, I think Palmer will get chances. Like, I think Palmer is a good captaincy option this week. It's what all the models tell you to do as well. It's what all the models tell you to do as well. So, Solanke to Pedro. I mean, I probably would do that this week, actually. If there's nothing else to do, then yes. Who should I bench this game week? Robertson or Gvardiol? I'd probably bench Gvardiol. I'd play Robertson, who's favourite, to win that game. What's Saka's record like against West Ham? It's pretty good. Apparently he scored 15 against them last year, but that's only one. Is Kamara back for Villa? Apparently Kamara and Onana could both be back. The models are slow to realise City no good. I agree. I think they tend to be a little bit slow on these things. Yeah. They are. I just think like Salah just finds a way to point every week. So why not Hall instead of Van Heck? I saw enough from Newcastle on Monday night that I'm unhappy having one of their players, let alone using a transfer to buy one of their defenders this week. That being said, Lewis Hall was actually pretty good. He played quite far forward. He took some set pieces. So I don't hate the Lewis Hall pick, but I'm not buying more Newcastle than I need at the moment. I want consistent teams and consistent players in my team. Because if I start buying players from teams who I think are inconsistent, I'm then going to be using transfers too soon again. And I'm not reacting too much on Isak just yet, but I do worry if I got that wrong. I do worry if I got it wrong. I mean, I've got enough decisions right this season, right? That if I've got one wrong, it's not the end of the world. But Wood and Greaves cancel each other out, no? Oh, yeah. Like, I might play Mikalenko. You're saying Brighton defence is consistent? No, I'm not, really. Which is why I haven't bought it. Because I don't particularly want to use a transfer on a defender I don't actually love that much. But the issue with having that thought process of I don't want to buy a defender I don't love is I don't buy any defenders. I just end up with no defenders that I want to buy. So maybe I try and find, like, I can buy Van Dijk or Trent in a couple of weeks if I want. Once I think I sell in Burmo, there's a lot of money there that I can use to buy Trent if I wanted to. Like, the thought of maybe getting Trent back for 15, like, for this run, 15 to 25. Is that not a really good run to own Trent for? He's not that attacking, though. Like, is he worth the money? Am I spending it just for the sake of it? Am I spending it just for the sake of it? Too expensive, just buy Van Heck. I mean, start Robinson over Greaves. Yeah, I'd start Robinson over Greaves. Just like Greaves' attacking data is better. And Forest have been very susceptible from set pieces still. They've been better this year. But like, is 0.4... Oh, 0.06. Like, thing is, with the wing backs, like Mikalenko's just gonna be camped on the edge of his. But what is going on? I'm benching Mikalenko at home to Brentford and away at West Ham and away at Ipswich in game week 8, and I'm starting him away at Man United. I have such a bad relationship with Mikalenko. Every week. So, but they have only, like, when was the last time they conceded goals? Since game week 4, they haven't conceded more than once in a game. But it's not like I'm starting him in easy games and he's scoring points in bad games. I'm starting him in bad games and benching him in good games. It's just the way the rest of my defence is lining up. I think I've had one. When did I play him? No, benched him. Game week 11. Did I play him against Ipswich? No, benched again. Like, I don't think I've had a single return from him. He wasn't even fit in these games. I haven't had a single return from him. I haven't had a single return in my starting lineup for him, and suddenly I want to play him away at Man United. Why Van Heck and not Veltman? Personally, I just think Van Heck is most nailed. When Lamptey comes back, when Hinchelwood comes back, and then eventually when Kadioglu comes back, it's too many fullbacks for me. Like, he might not be an issue this week. Like, I'm almost certain that what was I going to say? Oh, I'm almost certain Veltman will start tonight, but don't know long term. Veltman's the most nailed. I disagree. I'm pretty certain Van Heck is the most nailed, but I think Veltman's probably next. And Burmo captain. Brentford scored 16 goals in their last 5 home games. Leicester aren't good. Your opinion? Yeah, he's right up there. I think he's a very nice captain. Not been massively impressed by him though. If you look at his data, a lot of it's come from penalties, even the home games. So home to Ipswich, goal scored, 0.91 XG, but he scored that cross that went in and a penalty. Home to Bournemouth, he got an assist, but he had literally nothing. Since game week 8, he's not been that great. So you can see Man United scoring, so no clean sheet this week for Mykolenko. I'm just basically going to pray that Brighton concede a goal this season. And if they concede, then I'll be happy. I'll just be happy that I haven't bought them. Start Raya or Verbruggen. If you've got an arse defender, then Verbruggen probably. He's more likely to pick up a 9-pointer than Raya is. I'm going to be putting on my Brighton shirt if I had one tonight and supporting. My Southampton shirt. I'm a big Southampton fan tonight, basically. Choose 2. Solanke, Wood, João Pedro. What to start this week? You have to start all 3, but if I had to pick one, I'd ditch Solanke. Thank you for joining as a base tier member. I appreciate it, Neil. Triple Arsenal already and Mykolenko and Greaves. Need Konate replacement. Considering Van Heck, what about Estupiñán higher ceiling? The sort of thought process that Estupiñán has a higher ceiling is based on the positioning that he took up when he played under De Zerbi. He's not really picking up the same attacking places for Brighton this season compared to what he did in the past. If they were the same price, then absolutely, but I'm not massively sure it's worth the money to buy him over a Van Heck. I don't hate the Estupiñán buy, but once they have their other fullbacks back as well and they're playing 3 times a week, his injury record's not great. Yeah. I'm not sure I'd go with Estupiñán now. Am I Salah captain? Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to hope that this week is I think I'm just going to have to hope that this week goes a little bit better than it might look on paper, but yeah. Would I do Konate to Timber for a -4? Luke, thank you for joining. Greaves is your only backup, then yes. Particularly because we're not even certain Greaves starts. Yes, I probably would. I would sell Konate for a hit if you've got only Greaves as your backup. You'll want to do that transfer next week anyway. Would I sell Raul or Strand Larson for João Pedro? I'd sell Raul first. Their fixtures coming up are not great, and I wonder if he'll get dropped eventually again. No Brighton assets. I know it doesn't feel great, does it? Konate for who if you have Saliba? Gabriel. If you have the money, Gabriel is the best defender in the game still. 1 free transfer. Bruno to Saka or Roll. I mean, I think Saka's a better option than Bruno. So if you're going to do it next week anyway, I would just get it done. The only thing changes if you have the money to do Mbeumo to Saka next week, and you could do it then for him. Konate to Virgil, I don't mind that. I do just want to look at how they defend, though, against City, because I know it's City and it's not that. But yeah, I just want to make sure. Gabriel, I probably would go and ask defender if you've got a space for it. But yeah, Gabriel and Timber are probably my top replacements for Konate if you've got Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. I'm boring like that, but Nori as well. I like. He's up there. My future transfer plans. No worries, Luke. My future transfer plans: Wood to João Pedro after the deadline. Alexander Isak to Jackson, maybe. And Burmo to a cheaper midfielder, maybe. And then like Mikalenko to Trent, Van Dijk, Gvardiol. All of these are possible. If I do, so that's another thing, right? I don't mind some of those City fixtures coming up, but how nailed is Gvardiol going to be with the performances he's putting in? But like I could look at a like Wood. If I do I'm not saying I'm going to sell Nori. Let's say I go Gvardiol. My maths. Oh, I've got to sell him Burmo. And let's say I went Van Dijk. Leaves me 5.7. So I could look at something like that. Because his attacking threat is still really impressive. And some of these fixtures are really not bad. Why Van Heck over Colwell? Just because as a Chelsea fan, we do really silly things defensively. And it just leads us to conceding stupid goals. So that's why I would do that. I think it's quite close. And also is the fixture this week. If you're buying a defender to buy this week, it's definitely Brighton over Chelsea. If you're buying next week, then Colwell goes up, right? Yeah, you literally bought Bruno last week in Burma replacements. Already sure it was a mistake. Do I give up after this game and get Matoma, or do I prioritize Lewis out and hope for something? I'd probably do it. I'd probably prioritize the attacking transfers at the moment. This is why I want to buy defenders who are good for the long term. I want to buy defenders who are good for the long term so that if I can move on the attackers that I want. Right, over Edison for a hit. I mean, a goalkeeper transfer is unlikely to ever pay off in a hit the week you make it, but it will pay off and you'll have better sleep at night for having David Raya in your team compared to Edison. So I would probably do it. Mazraoui or Van Heck long term. I would go have Van Heck. The reason for it is I actually quite like Mazraoui. And if their fixtures were better, I'd actually probably buy Mazraoui this week. But I just worry how many of these games I actually play him in that he's got actual good fixtures in. Like Forest at home. I mean, maybe like Bournemouth at home, like Wolves away. These are not easy games, really. Like Newcastle, Liverpool, Southampton at home, maybe. Then Brighton, Fulham. Like, some of them are okay. But we're getting into like 10 weeks down the line before I'm at any weeks where I really think there's consistently good games. So we might look in game week 21, but I'm not sure Mazraoui is the one for me at the moment. Nori, good long-term Konate replacement. Yes, just be cautious that Nori is on 4 yellows. But actually, this is not a bad week for him to get booked, in all honesty. One sec. Let me get Plan FPL up and I'll show you why. Cool. So having a look. Like next week, if he gets suspended, he goes away to Everton. Now, that's probably a fixture I'd want to play him in, right? But it is a week where there's a lot of other good defenders. Like Greaves has Palace at home if he gets his place back. If you keep Mikolenko, he's got Wolves at home. Lewis has got Forest at home. So, you like the hold screen? Thanks. I have a button that does it as well. Bench one, Rodgers, Strand Larson or Mitoma. Definitely Rodgers. Definitely Rodgers. Rodgers is an easy bench for me this week. I don't mind it as a pick if you have to play him, but yeah. You missed the stream on Wildcard and Burma or Fernandez. Probably neither, but I'd probably go Mitoma over either of them if I was on Wildcard. But probably, if I had to pick, I'd go on Burma just because he's cheaper. I've got buttons on everything. I have my little stream deck. I was playing around with it over the last international break, adding buttons, which include hide screen, turn camera off. Very useful ones. Record if I want to. I can go to the big thing of me if I like to do that. I can go back to the stream. I can play the intro. I can like, subscribe. I got it all. Who asked? Sadly, no one. But we are here for a 2-hour deadline stream, and I will push all the buttons at some point. Konate to Colwell for a hit. I mean, I don't know who you've got on your bench, but probably not. I'd rather just play someone on your bench because I do think Villa score. Thank you, Richard. Please don't. We are 300 likes away from 1,000 likes. So if you haven't already, there are 4,000 of you in here who haven't liked. So I'm sure 300 of you can... Oh, I'm hiding my screen. Sorry. Oh, Anwar, you're an absolute legend as well. We are going to drop it in subscriber-only mode as we are an hour away from the deadline. You literally have to have subscribed for 1 second to be able to start using the chat. So make sure you are subscribed, and let's get that active and let's crack on. Let me get this back. Jemima on wildcard. Trent, Semenyo, Porro or Van Dijk, Bowen, Dunk. I mean, I wouldn't go Dunk because he's not certain to be nailed. If you could go Van Heck, let's say it's Van Heck or Konsa in that Dunk position. Trent, Semenyo, Porro, Van Dijk, Bowen, Dunk. Probably the Van Dijk option. Actually, no, the Trent option. Trent, Semenyo, Porro. Trent, Semenyo, Porro. Put Haaland on the captaincy list. All right, he's bottom. There's no way anyone's really captaining this week. Kane, thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate it a lot. Congratulations to Zico for winning the membership. Please say thank you to Kane. Kane, I appreciate that a lot. I hope Forest win this week to bring you all the happiness you need. Bench Bruno or Wood? Bruno. Missed your super chat. I do apologise. Edison to Verbruggen or Raya long term. If you plan on using the other Arsenal spot soon, then Verbruggen. I prefer Verbruggen, but if you're not going to triple up on Arsenal, then just go Raya. Amir, welcome to the mid-tier members. Thank you very much. Drop a message on Instagram or Twitter and I'll get you added to all the WhatsApps that you need to be a member of. Is Trent going to play? They have said he's available to start, so he should do, yeah. Is Van Heck a good long-term pick for replacement of Konate? Yeah, he's up there, yeah. Matter, I do apologise. Should I start Raya or Flecken, Greaves or Kerkez? Kerkez and probably Raya. Yeah, probably Raya, Kerkez. Part of me wants to go Flecken in that because he's most likely to get a 15-pointer. He's more likely to get like not 15, but like a 9-10 pointer than Raya is. Chat, let me know who you'd start. Would it be Raya or Flecken? I think I'd play Raya. Opinions on Pinnock? Absolutely fine, but their fixtures are about to get a lot worse. So after this week, he just really doesn't become very useful. Like, if we look at those as the fixtures from next week, you probably only want him in 1, maybe 2 games in the next, 10 games. So as much as Pinnock might be useful this week, I'd rather go for a Van Heck, for example. Fella, how are we doing? Thank you very much for you gifting a membership. This is all very exciting. Ahmed Taha, you have just won a membership from FPL Fella. Please do say thank you in the chat. Zico said thank you to Kane if you didn't see it, Kane. But congratulations, Ahmed, on your membership. Fella, I hope you are well. Would I do Keane to Colwill, Van Heck, Hall this week? If yes, I'd go Van Heck. If you need him this week, PG, I'd go Van Heck. Would Cunha Isaac, should I get João Pedro? I'd wait and do it next week. I'd wait and do that next week. Football Bloods TV. Saka 7. Thank you, Ahmed, for saying thank you. What was the question? Rogers to Ruta this week. I wouldn't buy Ruta. I'm just not 100% certain he's nailed. All good, mate. Just really struggling on the captaincy. I mean, captaincy is a struggle this week, but it's also not anything to massively stress about because there's going to be points for a lot of these players, I think. They all have good fixtures. Bench Livramento or Robinson? I'd bench Robinson. I'd play Livramento. I mean, Trippier was back, but I probably would play Livramento. Dan, bench 1 and Burmo, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Garnacho, Isak, and Strand Larson and Pedro. I'd probably bench Garnacho. Haaland, Smith Rowe to Saka, Cunha. Yes, I would do that. I am at the point now where I would look to sell Haaland. I just think those cheaper options are performing at such a high level every week in the forward line. And then the midfielders look like they want to continue absolutely killing it. And they go on a really nice run. What would I do? Raya, Aït-Nouri, Gabriel. Raya, Aït-Nouri, Gabriel, Lewis, Semenyo and Burmo, Foden, Palmer, Solanke, Visa, and Haaland. Subs, 2 free transfers. So you've got Hall. Just play Hall over Lewis. DJ Tracer, and then I would do Foden to Salah, Haaland to João Pedro probably. Foden to Salah, Haaland to João Pedro. And then maybe, or you keep Foden and you do Rodgers or Semenyo, whichever one you don't want long term. But I would sell Haaland. You have 3 problems. Lewis, Mikalenko and Son. 1 free transfer. Son is not an issue. I'd do a defender move. Son's not an issue this week. Football Bloods, I did just reply to it. I just wait and get João Pedro next week. And I don't mind the Mazraoui punt. I just don't think Mazraoui is particularly useful after this week. -4, sell Lewis Gavardio for Van Heck, Timber. I mean, I'd sell Lewis first. I still think there's merit in Gavardio. Same defense as you. Would I take a -4 for Lewis or Mikalenko? And if so, for who? For Lewis or Mikalenko? I don't necessarily think so. Unless you can get to an Arsenal defender in a Gabriel or a Timber. Van Heck's not worth a hit. Who to bench from Bruno? I mean, the answer is Bruno or Johnson. I'd probably play Bruno over Johnson just because it's not guaranteed that he gets back in the lineup. So I'd probably play Fernandes over Johnson. If it was down to me, you're keeping Salah captain? I think I will, yeah. Would I do Son to Saka for free or hold off until next week? I mean, I think Saka is a better pick than Son this week. So if you've got nothing else to do, then I would do it. Replacement for Konate, that's under 5 mil. Yeah, I mean, they're all in the ranking. I would go Aït-Nouri or Van Heck. If you've don't have Aït-Nouri, then Aït-Nouri. If you do have Aït-Nouri, then I'd go Van Heck. There is a ranking in the top. I mean, Erling Haaland being top of my differential ranking is just wild, but he's got to be up there. We've also got Watkins. We've also got Bowen. We've got a few interesting ones in that differential ranking. Start Udogie or Van den Berg. Probably the Spurs defender. Probably Udogie. Need to transfer out Konate now. It looks like he's injured, so yes, probably. What do I think about... So I'm glad So after all, those early transfers, I was going to do the international break that I'm really annoyed that I didn't do in Isak in and Konate in. I now have a injury to Konate and I have an Isak in my team who I don't want. So I'm glad I didn't do those 2 transfers over the international break. But yes. If Van Heck clean sheet, you're in the mud. Not really. I'm 4 points worse off, probably. Maybe 5. But I have an extra transfer in the bank and I can buy a defender I actually prefer next week. So I don't think I'm particularly worse off. Like I'm a few points down, but I just have to hope Southampton score. I also have to hope Van Heck doesn't score. A Van Heck 15-pointer would be painful. But I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't quite know why, but it's just how I feel. Play McNeil, Rodgers or Greaves. Rodgers. Rodgers plays for Aston Villa at the end of the day in their attack. Triple captain Salah. No, don't. Wait, why don't I want Isak? I just was really disappointed with them on Monday night as a team. Isak wasn't bad, but... Sorry. And the other thing is Callum Wilson being back. I just didn't expect him to be in the squad nearly this soon. And it just means him coming on for 20 minutes every game means that we're going to see Isak on the wing again. Or off the pitch again. He's not a 90-minute striker anymore. He's a 75-minute striker with 50 minutes off the pitch or 50 minutes on the wing. And if you all remember what happened that season where we'd had to pick between Wilson and Isak went on the wing. Now, it could be that Isak plays up front and they play a front two, but it's still not perfect. Midnight Mule FPL. If any of you haven't checked out Midnight Mule FPL's channel, please go and do. I do love your videos every week. I do watch them. Weather report. It is just very dark out there at the moment because it is a Friday, of course, evening here. We have 50 minutes to go to the deadline. The weather... It's actually not that cold, and it's going to get warmer over the weekend in London, so everything looks fine. I'm just looking if there's any early team news, but I doubt it. The predicted City lineup that I've just seen on Twitter is a complete prediction. Doesn't have Rico Lewis in it. Interesting. It's Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Gvardiol, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Foden, Grealish. It's just a prediction of what he thinks Pep will do. Why not Ruta? You got him this week. Just when they have all their wingers back fit, he's just not nailed. I don't think. He's been really good recently, but he's played a lot of minutes while João Pedro's been out. Once they have all their right wingers back fit, like Adingra, he's not guaranteed minutes off at the start. So I won't be going. Ruta's one of those that falls into a no thanks at Christmas, personally. I expect him to start tonight, but that's not even guaranteed. Dean better than Van Heck next game week, right? Well, next game week, yeah. Next game week. DJ Tracer, thank you for joining as a top tier member. Please drop me a message on Instagram or Twitter and I will get you added to all the one-to-one support that you can get with that tier. Thank you very much. It is a great time for... I rarely plug members because thankfully there are a lot of you who very kindly support, and I don't want to overflow it. But it is a very good time to become a member because you get so much bonus because there's so many game weeks. The base tier, you just get your name highlighted in chat. So hopefully I'm more likely to answer your questions. You also get emojis if some of the members want to just put some emojis in the chat. Just bear with me. Mid tier, you get a whole WhatsApp community with all the members in where you chat to each other. You help each other all the time. Absolutely love the WhatsApp community. If you get top tier, you get one-to-one help with me every game week to help you with your team, and I'll voice note you back answering your questions. And then GOAT tier, you get the same, but a weekly Zoom call on a Thursday evening where we chat as well. Thank you very much for those using the emojis. Same defense as you, not sure who to get. Instead, I'm thinking Flecken to Raya for a hit. Thoughts? I'm not sure I'd do Flecken to Raya for a hit when Flecken is arguably better than Raya this week. So no. Trent or Luca Dean. This week, I'd play Trent. Is Dunk playing? We have no team news yet. Why no love for Estupiñán? His attacking threat is just not like what you're used, like what you, when you close your eyes and expect Estupiñán's positioning, it's not what he is at the moment. I probably will start Mykolenko over Greaves. But like Ipswich haven't been bad, but I probably will play Mykolenko, particularly because he plays on Sunday. So it makes me feel a bit better. I don't love that defender spot. I'm fully expecting a 1 or 2 pointer from whichever defender I put in that spot. But the thing is, I just don't think I want a Brighton defender that long term. Play Semenyo, bench Burma or Saka for the bench banter. I'm going to be starting Semenyo. 100%. But I'm just going to do it closer to the deadline because I don't really want to have to answer the same question for 2 hours on a stream of why am I starting Semenyo. I'm going to start Semenyo because it's a little bit of fun and I just get auto sub points and it makes me laugh because it's a silly joke. You could either have me making silly jokes about Ben Mee or you can have me making silly jokes by starting Semenyo. Or maybe we can have both. That's up to me. Strand Larsen out, João Pedro in for a hit. I'm not sure it's worth a hit. But it's probably best long term. So maybe. But I don't think I do. I don't think it'll pay off a hit this week. Both is good. Why didn't I start Semenyo and captain him? Captaincy is too much. The captaincy is too much of a risk because if your vice captain then doesn't play, then you really look stupid. Then you really do look stupid. Start Dibbling or Rodgers. I play Rodgers. Ben Mee jokes, exactly, Yelena. Has decided to buy Mo Salah yet? If not, can you please video him again this weekend? Which area in London do I live in? That's a bit personal. I live somewhere between Bournemouth and Newcastle. He's not buying. I can't wait. Honestly, you're if anyone doesn't know, Yelena does a vlog every week where she basically vlogs her weekend of following FPL, and I absolutely love it because it's exactly what every single one of us go through when we are having an FPL weekend, and I just love to see it back, and particularly when there's pain involved, because it makes you feel better when you have a bad week. Why Greaves instead of Mykolenko? I've got Mykolenko instead of Greaves now. I made a switcheroo. Haaland and Johnson out for Salah and João Pedro. Haaland and Johnson out for Salah and João Pedro. Yeah, I probably would do that. Cucurella as a Konate replacement. It's not the end. It's not the worst. I don't think there's any benefit to going Cucurella over Colwell, though. Kukurea is slightly less nailed, and his attacking threat just isn't really there. Dallo or Timber? Timber, definitely. He lives in Burnt Oak. I don't live in Burnt Oak. I did post a photo of me once on a bus in Burnt Oak, but I don't live in Burnt Oak. I mean, I do live in Burnt Oak. That's exactly where I live. You should all go to Burnt Oak, because that's where I live. Not. Am I making the Brighton transfer yet? I don't plan on it, no. I live in Burnt Oak, not. Sub either Mbermo or Bruno or Wood. I'd bench Bruno. Start Garnacho or Johnson. Probably Johnson. Saliba or Timber. I mean, I'm boring. So if you're going to ask me, I'm going to say Saliba. I do like Timber, but if I was buying Timber, I don't think I'd trust it this week. Do I? If he plays 7 out of 8, is it enough? Maybe Timber is better. Maybe I need to live a little and then say Timber's a better pick. It's all well and good me saying Timber's a better pick because he's got more upside to everyone of you. But if it was me, I'd probably buy Saliba. But maybe Timber is a better pick. What did I used to do before content creating, Harry? I used to work. I used to do market research. So I used to analyze data of what people were buying in the shops and tell brands what to do with their products as a result. I used to really enjoy it. I'm out of my team. Yeah, it used to be great. You picked Van Heck because of you. Please make the transfer. I'm just going to hope that Southampton score. I think I'm going to just hope it's a difficult night under the lights, but I don't think it's going to be. What does the weather forecast in Brighton look like? Any rain? Nah. I don't know if I want there to be rain or not, but... Raining goals more like. Ha ha ha. Whee. It's very cold in Brighton. But it's not a long travel. Lion, I answered your question. Bench one of Aït-Nouri, Van Heck or Aina. I mean, Aït-Nouri has to play. Van Heck or Aina. I mean, I'd probably play Aina because at least Aina has 2 ways of getting points. So I probably would bench Van Heck. Who to bench from Bruno and Burmo, Jackson, Johnson, João Pedro? Probably Johnson. Or maybe I'll add some more to the benching ranking in terms of attackers. I would play Fernandes above Johnson. Probably play Solanke there. And I don't know who else people would actually consider. And Burmo or Smith Rowe. Definitely in Burmo. Burmo, Visa, Wood, Johnson. Would I bother playing Jimenez this week? I mean, I don't know who else you've got, but he's pretty low down my benching order. So, have I noticed that Arsenal don't leave London until the 4th of January? I absolutely have. This is really interesting. Who sent that? Because I'd like to... Derek, I appreciate that question. Let's look at the Arsenal fixtures. And this is why I actually... maybe Timber... Maybe this boosts Timber. Let's look at the Arsenal fixtures. West Ham away in London. Arsenal at home. Man United at home. Fulham away in London. Monaco at home. Everton at home. Palace in London. Ipswich at home. Brentford away in London. The first time they go away is only to Brighton That's not very far from London. I've done it. It takes an hour on the train. And it's a 5:30 kickoff, so they'll probably do that on the day, on the 4th of January, having just been at home, just been in Brentford. Then it's at home, then it's at home, then it's at home. The first time they have a real travel is Wolves away on the 25th of January. Because Brighton away on the 4th is not very far. And Wolves, that's the first bit of travel. They then have 25th and 29th. They have Wolves away, Girona away before Man City at home on the 1st of February. Would I cap Visa if I had him? Probably not, but I don't mind the Visa captain. I think a Visa is a better captaincy than... I think Visa is a better captaincy than Mbermo. That's what I said. Should I sell Mbermo for a Matoma? I don't think it's worth it. Bruno, a lot can change very quickly. So... play Dallo or bring in Van Heck. I just play Dallo. Rogers to Odegaard for a -4. I don't really love the Odegaard pick. I don't really understand the Odegaard pick at 8.5 million, if I'm honest. So no, I'm not sure I would buy Odegaard. Bruno to Saka for a -4 and 2 of Davis, Colwell, Vandenberg. I'd play Vandenberg and Leaf Davis probably. And would I do Bruno to Saka for a hit? Probably not. I'd probably do it next week. Probably do it next week for free. Do I feel João Pedro is nailed for minutes in December? Yeah, he may only play 60, 70 every game, but he's pretty first choice. He's just their best player. So I don't particularly expect him to drop out at all. Yeah, I don't expect him to drop out. You're from India. Can I speak an Indian word if I happen to know? I don't. I don't know any. Sorry. Who to bench this week? Got Bruno and Burmo, Palmer, Saka, Salah, and Cunha, Pedro, and Wood in attack. I'd bench Bruno probably. If he's going to play centre midfield, then yeah. Would I play Gvardiol or would I play Mikalenko? I'd play Gvardiol over Mikalenko. It is in my benching rankings, so I can always fire that. Christmas tree is up. It went up last weekend, yes. What meat do I have on Christmas Day? I have a turkey. I'm spending Christmas Day away from my family for the first time this year. It's about time that Holly and I spent Christmas together. Last year we did it half and half. Christmas morning and then Christmas afternoon we drove from her parents to my parents, and we basically decided that that's not really good for anyone. We have to drive. My family had to wait. Her family then had to say goodbye. So basically we are doing Christmas together this year for the first time. And we are at Holly's family, which I'm looking forward to, actually. Should be really nice. Makes sense, seeing as you're getting married. Yeah. Probably about time. Sorry, I'm just moving the mic. Get Pedro for Isaac. I wouldn't do it this week. No, I wouldn't. Dallo or bring in PHV. Who's PHV? Is that Van Heck? Is that meant to be Van Heck? I don't know. Do I think there is a risk that Palmer gets benched midweek? Not really. Well, and Nkunku went off midweek with a slight injury. We don't actually know if he's okay or not. But no. Who is the better sell going forward between Rodgers and Semenyo? I'd rather keep Semenyo. Is Gabriel a risk? I think Gabriel will play. I don't know, but I think Gabriel will play. I mean, if Gabriel doesn't play, then I've got a problem defensively this week. And maybe I should be more concerned about it, but I'm just really not. I just think... How long have we got? Half an hour to go until the deadline. Start making a thought about what transfers you're going to make if you have not made them yet. Would I do Son to Saka with one free transfer? I mean, I probably would, because you'll probably want to do it at some point. Timber or Colwill? I'd go Timber if I had the money. Fabianski or Henderson? Probably Henderson. 4.4 defender. I mean, if you need them this week, there's not loads, but Konza of Aston Villa is 4.4, and he's probably my favourite going forward. I find Villa defensively really weird. Like, they keep up such good numbers in the Champions League, and another clean sheet in the Champions League last night, but yeah, then just not quite at it, the Prem. Saka captain, I'm not going to put you off Saka captain. He's probably not top of my captaincy ranking, but I don't mind it at all. Will I do Haaland to Salah tonight? If so, why? Yes, just because I think Salah is a better pick this week and going forward as well. And is playing for a team looking much, much better. If you're chasing rank, would I captain Palmer, Salah and Mbeumo? I mean, maybe captain Palmer. Maybe this is a week not to captain Salah if you're really chasing. I would say we're too early on in the season to have a chasing mentality, though. We're only 12 weeks or 13 weeks into the season. To be thinking I've got to go different to chase is too early to do that. You should still be trying to pick the players you think score the most points every week at the moment. We're not at a chasing point in the season. Why Son is not in the considerations for captaincy this week? I mean, Spurs are so hit and miss. No one really owns Son. So... yeah, they're just too hit and miss. They're too hit and miss for me. Mikalenko to Van Heck. I don't mind that as a transfer if you've got nothing else you want to do this week or going forward. I have considered it myself, but I think I'm just going to play Mikalenko. Bench Mbeumo or Mitoma. Bench Brian Mbeumo or Mitoma. I wouldn't want to bench either of those. Like, I don't want to bench either. If I had to bench one, I'd bench probably Mbeumo, but I wouldn't want to bench either, is my answer. Palmer is not tired. Salah is. Salah doesn't get tired. Just because a player played in the Champions League. Like, if you didn't want to captain a player after they played in the Champions League every week, you'd never captain Salah or Haaland. So, and they were always the highest scoring players in the game. So, personally, I wouldn't let you off the fact that Salah played Champions League midweek. Put you off captaining him. Yeah. Son to Saka for a hit? No, I wouldn't do it for a hit. Will Pedro Neto start? I think he probably will. Start Semenyo get auto sub? Yes, I will be doing that. Why no longer Van Heck? You've had that in every video this week. So on the first video, I said I planned it. In my team selection video, I said I was 70% sure I'd do it. In my team transfer plans, my final decisions video, I said I was 50-50. And that's just dropped and dropped as the day went on. I just don't think I love it long term. And I just have to hope Southampton score. Yeah. If I make a move, it would be that. That's the only move I'm considering this week. Now we're at the deadline. If I'd have known that João Pedro was going to rise twice this week, I would have sold Chris Wood to him last Saturday. I thought I could get away without the second rise. I would have sold him. But actually, part of the reason I wanted to... Part of the reason I wanted to sell him is because Chris Wood to João Pedro. Some might say I've got lucky. Chris Wood to João Pedro would leave me. I could have done Mikalenko to Konate, but I would now be 0.1 short because João Pedro went up last night, so I couldn't do it. But I now don't need to do it because I'm on the Sky Sports Premier League channel right now. Has anyone else got Sky Sports Premier League on? That is cool. Someone tweet me a photo. You turned it off. That's funny. I rate that, Kai. We made it. I know. Honestly, when I go there, yeah, it was just crazy. Like, it just blows my mind every time that I have the opportunity to do that. So, as a little side note, a big thank you to you all because you're all a massive part of how I've got to have the opportunity to do things like that, to have the channel as what it is. Like, to have this as my full-time job is just like mental, and every week it blows my mind. So I am very, very grateful to you all for all of your help for it. So thank you all. I appreciate you all very, very much. Would I think of a Stupinan for Konate? I'm not sure if Stupanan's got the attacking threat to make him worth the money. Do a poll. I think the clean sheet probability for Brighton is about 36%. I think it's about 36%. Let me find Rob TFPL. Yeah. Yeah, so they have, final update, a 36% chance of a clean sheet. Let me put this up on screen because I find these really useful. Great content and very likable personality. Well, I appreciate you. I do my best with my personality. It's the only one I've got. That was funny. That was funny. Sorry. Do Konate Timber this week or Virgil next week? How are you on my TV and my phone? Bro's a twin. I appreciate it. Dad joke. It was a good one. Do Konate to Timber. If you don't have triple Arsenal, I do think Timber is better. If you need a defender this week, then definitely, yeah. So these are projections or predictions, Harry. Pick one, and go with it. Right. Brighton 2.6 projected goals is more than Nottingham Forest 1.75. Just fingers crossed that it's Danny Welbeck who decides to score tonight. But I am not terrified, but I'm pretty terrified of what João Pedro could do to my rank. Chelsea at 2.1, Arsenal 2.0, Liverpool at 1.85, Spurs at 2.25. In terms of clean sheet odds, you've got Arsenal top, Man United second, Forest and Brighton joint third, Brentford fifth, and then Chelsea. Hi, H. Hi. I have some banana bread. Alright. No, I'm showing the stream. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Hello.
Hello. Can I come in? I need to get my Uggs.
Yeah. Thanks. Look, I only ate a little bit.
It was nice, actually.
It's a good one.
Not on top of being fairly good at giving FPL advice, but also quite a good baker.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Right.
Where was I? I don't know.
I have captained Chris Wood.
No, don't do that.
I did do it.
No, don't captain Chris Wood because that makes me feel bad that he's not going to do anything.
Why?
Because you don't have the good luck like that.
Oh, you mean you now think that he's going to do rubbish on your team because I captained him?
Yeah, you're going to jinx him in my team. Holly's captaining Chris Wood.
Yeah. Up the Reds. Oh. I'm a bit concerned about Forest, but I am a pessimistic fan. But now we've lost 2 games in a row, and I know it was Newcastle, and I know it was Arsenal. Now I'm concerned for that it's just going to go downhill from here, and that it was all just a fairy tale.
All right. That's a bit harsh.
Well, you know. Right, I'm going to leave you.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, I will see you when I get back.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, I missed your super chat. I was talking to Holly. I have Gabriel, Aït-Nouri, Dunk, and Hall. Can make a free transfer to bring in Saliba for one of them. Who would it be? If not, which 3? Make free to bring Saliba for one of them. I probably wouldn't. I'd wait and see if Dunk plays. If Dunk plays, then you keep Dunk. If not, then you sell Dunk. I would probably roll it this week. Any leaks on the team? No. Nope. What to do with Van den Berg? I'd probably start him this week. I appreciate it, Duncan, but don't worry. It will forever be a joke. Isak or Jackson and why? I'd go Jackson now. I just think he's the better long-term pick looking at those fixtures. Brighton news, there's nothing. Captaincy poll there is in the chat. You can vote on it as you want. We've had about how many votes? 12,000 votes on the poll, and Salah is at 55%. I wonder if that's impact. I wonder if other people who are not captaining Salah, what they've done. One of your mates is captaining Danny Welbeck. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. Kwanzaa for Konate. We're expecting it to be Joe Gomez that comes in, but I wouldn't buy either of them this week. I will start Semenyo. I'm just going to change it close to the deadline because I don't particularly want to make... I don't want to answer 50 questions on why I'm starting Semenyo. Aït-Nouri or Hall, bench 1. I'd bench Hall. Son, Wood, João Pedro is a differential captain. Probably João Pedro. Is Dunk or Van Heck an option for a -4? I wouldn't buy Dunk for a hit. If you don't have Aït-Nouri in your defence, then I would also do that. Annexon. Jackson and Jacob, happy Friday. Thank you very much. It's very hot, so I'm going to take off my... No, that's not the one I want. That one. Oh. Double Arse defense, the play. I mean, I'm very happy with it, and I'm going to leave it for the long time now. I'm glad I don't have to touch it. I might end up looking at Gvardiol or Trent. Would I sell Bruno for Odegaard this week? No, I wouldn't. Activating my free hit, Isak or Cunha. I'd go Cunha on a free hit, but I personally wouldn't have activated it, but yes. What team news do we have? Gabriel, we don't have any team news really, apart from Konate. Sounds like he's out for 5 to 6 weeks, which will rule him out until the new year, basically. Until the early FA Cup break. Why am I starting Semenyo, please? Because it just means I get auto subs, and it makes me my inner child laugh a little bit. That's all it is. Transfer in Burma to Saka tonight to avoid price rise. If you're going to be priced out, then yes, Leo. The thing is, we're doing early transfers tonight, is there's less time till the next deadline, so it doesn't feel quite as bad. There's less time for things to go wrong, it feels like. Dalot and Mazraoui, or start Pinnock over one of them. I'd probably play Dalot Mazraoui against home to Everton. Thank you for answering your question. That is no worries. Milenkovic for Mikolenko and start Milenkovic. He's only good for this week. The Forest fixtures coming up are not good after this week. So I wouldn't be buying Milenkovic. Brighton team news. We have nothing yet. We have 15 or 16 or so minutes to go until the deadline. So is Pep going to play a high line or try and draw? I don't think a draw is enough for them, if I'm completely honest. I think they need more than a draw. Why Mikolenko instead of Greaves? I'm not certain Greaves is going to start, and I have Chris Wood. Eight Nori or Dallo start one. I mean, it has to be Dallo at home to Everton, surely. Because I'm not sure Wolves will keep a clean sheet, whereas Dallo feels more inclined. He might get a 15-pointer or something. Haaland going to pop off. May very well do so. Why not roll the dice on Captain Cunha? Because I think Bournemouth are a pretty decent side. Konate to Timber, Dallo or Van Heck. I mean, I'd go Timber if you've got an Arsenal spot. Solanke or João Pedro? João Pedro. Isak in for Solanke. Would I do Isak in for Solanke? No. Who's going to partner Van Dijk? It will likely be Joe Gomez, but we don't know for certain. It might be one of those that it doesn't happen all the time. How would I describe my macro FPL strategy in terms of game theory? My macro FPL strategy is conservative long-term planning with little deviation from the mean. I'm probably going to roll my transfer and just hope that Southampton score tonight. And if they don't, it's really not the end of the world. It sounds like Konate is definitely out, yeah. There is replacements for Konate in the top right-hand corner, which will come round in a moment. My Captaincy poll is also running. There's top defenders, midfielders, and forwards to buy this week. Timber in for a hit, matey. I don't think I'd do it for a hit, but it depends who you're selling. You might be glad next week that you've just done it, but I'm not sure I'd do it. I doubt it pays off a hit this week. Is Dunk playing? We don't know. Like, if we get to next week and Dunk's starting, then I'll buy Dunk over Van Heck. So that's another reason that I might wait. That Dunk is a better pick. Dunk is a better pick if he plays. Arsenal have released training photos, and guess what? Gabriel's not in any of them, as he was never going to be, as Arteta does every single week. So no real thoughts there. Son to Saka for free transfer worth this week or not? I mean, I probably would, because I just think Saka's better than Son. Not going to get Pedro for tonight? I'm sadly not. I'm keeping Chris Wood. Just hope and pray that it goes my way. Any news about Brighton lineup? We have nothing. Haven't heard a single thing. We're getting much. There's Gabriel's not in the team picks. Gabriel, injured players are never in the photos. It literally means nothing. Saka has not been in those training photos for about 6 weeks, and he's played every single week. Those training photos mean absolutely nothing. I wouldn't buy Bruno Fernandes. Greaves or Van Heck? Definitely Van Heck. Bench one of Cunha, Wood, Pedro, and Burmo, Bruno. Probably Bruno, just because he's expected to play a bit deeper again this week. What about buying Mitoma this week instead of Rodgers or Semenyo? Yeah, I don't mind that. Mitoma is quite a nice buy this week. He's up there in my midfielders to buy. Yep. What to do with Konate? 2 million in the bank, got 3 Arsenal already. I mean, you could just not play him and go... You could go Porro or Van Heck, or wait a week and go Van Dijk. Why is everyone against Mbeumo captaincy? Just because his underlying data has not been very good over the past few weeks is all. Lewis to Gabriel for a 4-point hit. I mean, if you're going to get Gabriel, I probably would do it for any hit. Yeah, so I probably would do that. I think he's just much better than Lewis. Am I going to make the transfer? I don't think so. 11 minutes to the deadline. If my life depended on it. Wow. If my life depended on it, would I go Saliba or Timber? I mean, I don't think that's a good situation to put me in. Because if my life depended on it, and that was actually my life depending on it, I would go for the safer option if my life depended on it. So I'd go Saliba. If my life didn't depend on it, then I might go for the more exciting pick in Timber and take the risk. But if my life depends on it, I'm not going to go for the risky pick, and I would just go for the boring pick, which is Saliba. So if my life depended on it, I would go with Saliba over Timber. If that makes sense. Luckily, my life doesn't depend on it. Mikalenko will get a red card. No, that's so good. Abdullah, has anyone noticed any pigeons this week? I don't remember seeing a pigeon this week. I don't remember noticing. Actually, that's a lie. I went for a run and there were definitely pigeons. I have seen pigeons this week. I definitely have seen pigeons this week. I realised that 10 minutes ago before the deadline is probably not the time to talk about how many pigeons we've seen. We can leave those questions for after the deadline. Konate, replacement, have Porro, Davis, or your suggestions? Yeah, mine are. So we've got them. Gabriel, Saliba, Gabriel, Aït-Nouri, Saliba, Timber, Porro, Van Heck are my top replacements. You saw a pigeon today. Harry, I need coffee. I think the issue is I've had too much coffee today. Worth using wildcard now or waiting? Sam, if I'm honest, if you are 10 minutes before the deadline and you're thinking about using your wildcard this week, I probably wouldn't do it. I'm not sure you'll be able to click all the buttons fast enough to do a wildcard in 10 minutes. So I would probably wait and do it next week. Garav, thank you for joining as a mid-tier member. Drop me a message on Instagram or Twitter and I'll get you added to all the group chats that you need to be in. Gusto or Udogi? I'd go Gusto. If it's for this week alone, I'd probably go Udogi, but I'd probably buy Gusto. Pigeons aren't real. Well, I can't remember seeing one. So should I start Rodgers or Smith Rowe? Probably Smith Rowe, given the amount of chances and the fact that Aston Villa have played Champions League midweek. Joel, -4 for Wood or Strand Larson to Cunha. I would do Strand Larson to Cunha for a hit. But I know that having a membership on YouTube allows you to bypass the slow mode on the chat, but please don't spam. Salah, not Saka. I do plan on sticking with captaincy. I'm hoping that Palmer's captaincy is below, his ownership is below 100%. I'm hoping it's below 100% so that he's a good, I can celebrate his points whether I captain him or not. That's my hope, is that his captaincy is low enough. I'm not sure it's going to be though. I'm not sure it's going to be. Sells or Raya? Probably sells, just because he's more likely to get that haul. My opinion on Mazraoui is I really like him for this week, but I don't think you particularly play him in any of the weeks going forward, so I'm not sure I'd buy him. Which two from Aït-Nouri, Van den Berg or Ina to start? I'd bench the Brighton defender who can't defend very well. Any last Gabriel news? No, I just predict that he starts. I just would be surprised if he misses out, but Solanke to João Pedro right now, I'll wait. I mean, I think João Pedro is better than Solanke this week, so I would probably do it. You want to captain Cunha, but can't just ignore Salah and Palmer. They're all good options. I do think captaincy this week is to go with your gut. João Pedro is best for captaincy. He will definitely score against Southampton. Yeah, quite possibly. Any transfers plans currently for yourself? No, not until after the deadline, which we will do in a moment. Once the deadline passes, we'll do some transfer plans because I might be making some transfers tonight. Who to bench, Bruno or Vissa? I'd bench Bruno. Am I just rolling? Yes, that's the plan. Rolling and hoping and appreciating that this might not be the best week of FPL that I've ever had. Rolling and hoping is the aim of the game. Why Bruno bench? Just because all the other options, I feel like we know exactly where they're going to play and what they're going to do. Whereas Bruno's the one, he's been playing at centre mid for them, and I'm just not as big a fan of that. Sell Solanke for Pedro for a hit? No, I wouldn't take Solanke out for a hit. Captaincy Cunha, I don't mind. I do think Bournemouth are not a bad side though, but they are better at home. I don't mind it. He has massively outperformed his expected data though. Is he going to score screamers from 30 yards every week? Probably not, but he might score from 5 yards instead. Marco, -4 Lewis to Van Heck. I'm not sure it's worth it. Van Dijk, Gabriel, Mazraoui, then it's definitely not worth a hit. So no. Start Flecken or Raya. I'd go Flecken. I just chase the upside on it. Predict Saka to get one more goal and assist versus Salah. I don't mind the Saka captaincy. They're all good picks. We are approaching the deadline. So make sure you're checking your teams. So on as captain, bench boost 2. Wow, Michael, I hope you let me know how it goes on Twitter. Please do send it to me because I love when people do stuff like that. I don't have it in me to do it and I wouldn't do it myself, but if it goes well or badly, I do want to know. I know how Oscar does it, Focal, in his videos. He has like the success and the negative of every game week on every manager. Like I really like that. I'm not going to do it because that's Oscar's thing and that's what he does, and I watch his videos for it, but I really like that idea, and maybe you'd feature in it this week. But Salah, Palmer, Odegaard, Isak, Bruno, João Pedro, Cunha, and Burmo. Yeah, if I had to bench one, I'd probably bench Isak or Bruno. Probably Bruno. You're just going to keep the armband on Salah. I might just keep it there forevermore. Next week is interesting. He has Man United at home. I actually think Haaland is the best captain next week and it doesn't feel like any of us are going to own him. If you haven't already, just as the stream is about to end, make sure you've liked and subscribed. Why would bench last game? I need to bench Chris Wood. Why? And just a disclaimer before you all ask, I'm benching it because it's a little bit of fun. Wood will automatically sub in for Semenyo, who is suspended for his 5 yellow card suspension until the 5th of December. Wood is going to play, don't worry. Semenyo is just suspended until he's suspended for this game. He'll be back midweek. No Brighton team you start. Gvardiol or Van den Berg? Van den Berg. What if it's overturned last minute? You don't get yellow card suspensions overturned. Is that fun? To me. To you. Robinson or Colwill this week? I'd probably play Colwill and hope for a clean sheet. Lineups we won't probably get anything until the deadline. What's the point? Don't get it. I mean, there isn't much point in it apart from it makes me chuckle. Bench Matoma or Johnson? I'd say I have to start Matoma against Brighton. Solanke to Pedro, maybe for free. maybe for free. It gives you, if it's a planned transfer you'll do anyway, then yeah, I just do it. Is Pedro starting? Might plan to captain him. We don't know, but I see no reason why João Pedro wouldn't start. Rodgers or Wood this week? Definitely Chris Wood. Any leaks yet? No, nothing. And we have a minute and a half to go to the deadline. Greaves or Pau Torres to start? Probably Pau Torres. No, I'd probably play Greaves and hope he scores. Predictions, Liverpool 2-1. Jackson or Fernandes? I probably would play Jackson. Captain Visa or João Pedro? I probably would go João Pedro. Thoughts on Son captain? I don't hate it. Spurs have scored a lot of goals this year and he should be involved. Rodgers or Mbeumo? Definitely Mbeumo. Edison out for a hit. I mean, I probably wouldn't. It probably won't pay off, but I probably would do it just to get it long term. Your bench thing says Greaves above Mikalenko. So I've decided to switch it just because I'm not certain Greaves is going to play. If I knew Greaves was going to play, then I'd probably have it the other way around. But it is also about to be 1 minute to the deadline. So please go and check your teams. Greaves or Robinson? I'd play probably Robinson. Wood is on the bench because he's just going to auto sub in for Semenyo. You have got a minute to go for the final. We're into the final minutes before the deadline. Please go and check your teams. Go and make sure everything is as it is. Make your final transfers. Make sure that everyone is benched who you want to be benched. That is all. If you are going to head off, I'm just going to, by the time you hear the answer to the questions, the deadline will almost be passed. So go and check your teams, make your final transfers, lock everything in. If you are going to head off now, then please like and subscribe before you go. Have a lovely weekend, and I appreciate all of your support. We are going to stick around and do a little bit of transfer planning, so I might make some transfers tonight. We'll also do FPL Challenge tonight as well. So do stick around. We'll wait for the lineups of Brighton and everything like that. And then we will wrap up the stream in about 15-20 minutes. So do stick around. We're going to do a few full things, but that is going to be the deadline. Apparently not yet. You've still got time. Let me go and tweet my team. Just bear with me. Oh, it reset. Cool. FPL Gameweek 13. That must be it. My team value, I can't. Is the game still open? They haven't locked the game. Oh, there we go. They were a minute late. They were a minute late. Let me just tweet my team. Sorry. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. I'd rather they set it a minute late because what's the harm, right? didn't even post. That's such a shame. One second. I'm just posting everything where it needs to be posted. I wish there was just some easier way that I could post the same thing everywhere, but I can't. FPL Tony. What did Tony tweet? He hasn't tweeted anything. It might be a fake Tony. He has kept Haaland though. Right, let's have a look at some Fantasy Challenge. Thank you those of you who have decided to stick around on the stream. We'll do Fantasy Challenge first. Those of you who are still in here, there is no reason for me to start Chris Wood. I find it a little bit amusing, and it's just one of those things that I often do, and it's just that. Like, it's nothing more than that. It's nothing more than that. So, yeah, no João Pedro tonight. Right. I got 20 points last week, did I? I'm in the top 80%. Nice. Oh, that's because I spent all my money on Haaland and no one else did anything, apart from Kelleher. Oh, well, next week. Right, what have we got to do this week? Liverpool and Man City players earn double. Yes, please. In goal, do I have a budget? 44, right. Do we even know who's going to play in goal? Is Alisson back? No, it's going to be Kelleher, no? Oh, hang on. There we go. Kelleher in goal. I like getting a red arrow and it getting slightly better, even if it's still a red. Defensively, how much is Trent? Midfielder. Salah. I'm going to run out of money. Or actually, am I not? Can you just afford whoever you want? Oh, no, you can't. All right. I don't know what to do now. $4.4. I can't afford it. Oh, all right, someone's going to have to go. But the issue is Darwin going to play? Bradley's injured, so Bradley can't play. Maybe I go Van Dijk. Maybe I go Robbo. Robertson. I want Curtis Jones in here. How much have I got? Can I do Darwin to... Oh, yeah! Bash. Nah, they all score double. The whole point of this is to pick players who score double, even if it's not the best thing. Liverpool, Man City. Well, at least I've got Haaland. Why no Rico Lewis? Why no Rico Lewis? Because he's not very good. Gvardiol, the best City pick. Yeah, I could. I mean, I could do a defender over Jones, right? But I don't really want a defender over Jones. No, João Pedro confirmed. Oh no, João Pedro confirmed. Yep. Was Jackson for a hit wise? It depends who you sold. It's only double points. 0-0 for Darwin is still 0. Fiona's got it. Let me turn slow-mo down. I always forget at the end of my streams. 35. Let's turn that right down for you. We'll turn it right down. You've been boonered. I haven't been boonered by anything. Booner is well and truly. What did Booner tweet? He's muted, don't worry. Yeah. Who said I've been boonered? I was never going to buy João Pedro. Well, I was thinking about it, but by the deadline, I was not buying João Pedro. I didn't see any tweets. I'm sure he will start tonight. Thanks to those of you who sent videos of me on the telly. That is very, 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 very nice. Right, let's have a look at some future transfer plans. So I didn't make a transfer, so I will have 3 transfers. I'm almost certain. Let me do this. There we go. I'm almost certain that Wood to João Pedro will happen tonight. I also think that one of Isak or Burmo might leave. I mean, I could do nothing. Like, I could do 1 transfer, and if Isak looks good, then I could just leave it. I have a bit of a benching headache next week. Harry was talking about his own team. No, Chris Wood might... Oh, sorry. I don't know what I said. Yeah, so... In the same boat, selling Isak to reactionary, no. His next 3 are not that great. So, if I get to 14... So, let's say this weekend that Isak looks bad and Jackson doesn't get booked. I will do Jackson in for Isak. And then that's 2 free transfers. And then... And Burmo could go. Like, it could be in Burmo to Rodgers. The issue is, I just think Rodgers misses one of these 2. I'm just not sure he starts both of them. That's the only thing. If I knew he started both of those, then I probably would buy him. And that would give me loads of money in 4.15 to do, like, Mikalenko to Trent if I wanted to. So I could look at something like that. That is possible. That I can also afford that if I keep Isak in there. It's this Burma replacement that I don't really know where I want to go. Like, it could just be Bowen. I could go Bowen. What do you all plan on doing with Burma? Madison? If he starts again this weekend, then maybe. I can't do Trent. Could I do Van Dijk? And no, I can't. Okay. So I realistically have to go for someone cheaper than Bowen. if I want to get an actual Liverpool defender in. Team news is in. Sorry, team news in 3 minutes. Eze. Are we really buying Eze again? I'm not sure. Those fixtures are also not great, so no, I don't think so. Burmo to Semenyo. I mean, I've got Semenyo. I might just do one transfer. Like, I probably won't touch Burmo. Like, I'll probably do the João Pedro move and then maybe Isak to Jackson. And probably leave it at that next week. Because I've got the defenders. Like, all my defenders have good fixtures next week. Kulusevski, I could do Kulusevski. If he looks good again this weekend, then I could end up on Kulu. Kudus is an interesting one. He'll be back from his suspension and goes into Leicester away, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Brighton, Southampton. Ahmad. This is on a site called planfpl.com. And if you sign in with Fantasy Football Scout, who have a Black Friday deal where you get 7 days completely free, so you can plan Game Week 14 and Game Week 15 with the free trial, and start of Game Week 16 with a link in the description, you get all your predicted points for future weeks as well. But yeah, I'm using Plan FPL. I could go Kudus, but if I just make those 2 moves, then in 15 I'll have a couple more moves and I can look at the defence. And like, I just don't need to sell Mbeumo, because if I don't want to play him, like Semenyo's got Ipswich away that week. So I could just wait. And then I don't really need him. So he could just sit on my bench until I find someone that I actually want. Like, none of these weeks I actually need to play him. Like, I don't play him. Maybe I play him in Game Week 17, I play him at home to Forest when Mbeumo goes away to United. Like, that's fine. It's just if I need the money. Because I can't do Lewis to Konate, Lewis to Van Dijk, or any of that. Can't do any of that, sadly. So that's the only reason. Team news is out. Let me get it up so we will react to it fully first. I've already seen a change for Southampton for Southampton. João Pedro does start, as does Ruta. Hang on, let me get it up. Hang on, I've seen a change I knew was going to come at some point, and I did warn people. Veltman benched. I did say it. So, Southampton, first of all, Lumley is in goal. They've changed their goalkeeper. Howard Bellis comes... Oh, no. Yeah, Howard Bellis, Stevens, Downs. Oh, why isn't Aribo playing? He was really good. Going 2 up top. This screams chances for them, that. But anyway. Verbruggen, Lamptey, Igor C. Dunk on the bench. Veltman not even in the squad. This is why Van Heck was the buy. If you want a defender. Dunk doesn't make the start, and Veltman doesn't even make the squad. Welbeck. That's an interesting lineup. It's a good lineup. It's a good lineup. I'm scared. I'm scared, chat. I'm scared. Anyway, we're going to wrap up the stream there. Thank you all very much for joining. There'll be a video back on Sunday evening. There'll be a Monday video. There'll be a Tuesday video. There'll be a Thursday video. Then there'll be a Friday double upload. that is my plan next week. Of course, the podcast will be back on Monday if you need that as well. My face looks like I regret not going for Van Heck. My face looks like I regret not having any Brighton. But we can close our eyes and hope. If Jackson gets suspended, then I'll just keep Isak. Until Jackson's back. Thoughts on Strand Larson and Welbeck instead of Cunha and Pedro? The idea is the same teams, right players. Strand Larson and Welbeck. I mean, I would definitely go Cunha and Pedro because they're on penalties as well. Why 1761? We didn't know yet. Oh, for likes, it was just a random number. I like to change it up. Anyway, I'm going to go and put my frozen pizza in the oven. I'm going to go and get ready for the game at 8 o'clock. I'm going to go and relax this evening. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I appreciate the support. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Of course, remember, we'll have lots of videos next week because there's another Tuesday deadline. I will post if I do transfers and stuff this evening. Have a lovely one, everyone. Thank you all very much. Have a good weekend. Good luck with your FPL teams, and I will see you all very soon.